Allison. The breathing stopped. For the first time in weeks, it stopped. And then it moved across the room, past the closet, until it was right next to her. She felt the mattress shift. Tonight, one room, one name no one remembers, and the girl who said it out loud. Let's go inside. I was 18 when I moved into Archer Hall. It was one of the older residence halls at Ohio State, a 10-story concrete tower on the south end of campus, built in the 70s, renovated just enough to keep it open. My room was 614, 6th floor, end of the hallway, overlooking a service lot. I'd requested a single. Housing had granted it, which my mom said was lucky for a freshman at a school with 60,000 students. She kept saying that word, lucky. I moved in on a Saturday in late August. The room was small, maybe 10 by 12. One twin bed pushed against the left wall, a built-in desk under the window, a narrow closet with wooden sliders. The carpet was gray-blue, the kind that absorbs everything and releases nothing. It smelled like industrial cleaner and something underneath it, something warm, like the ghost of someone else's shampoo. Coconut and vanilla, faint but specific. I figured the previous tenant had spilled something. I opened the window, unpacked. The first week was fine. Orientation events, dining hall meals I wouldn't remember, the usual panic of finding lecture halls and buildings that all looked the same. I came back to my room at night, exhausted, and slept like I hadn't since middle school. I told my mom the single room was the best decision I'd made. My breathing started on day 9. I woke at 2:47 a.m. I know the time because I checked my phone immediately. That reflex you have when something pulls you out of deep sleep and you don't know what it was. The room was dark. The parking structure lights made a dull orange band across the ceiling. Everything was still. Then I heard it. Slow, measured breathing. Not mine. Coming from somewhere near the closet. I held my own breath and listened. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Rhythmic. Calm. The breathing of someone asleep. Not labored, not loud, just present. Like another person was sleeping 3 feet from me. In a room where I was alone. I turned on my phone flashlight. The closet was closed. My clothes hung where I'd left them. Nothing on the floor. I got up, checked the hallway. Empty. Checked the bathroom down the hall. Empty. Came back, locked the door, sat on my bed with the lights on until sunrise. The breathing had stopped the moment I turned on the light. I didn't tell anyone. What would I say? I hear breathing in a building with 600 people, thin walls, and an HVAC system from the 1970s. I told myself it was the vents, but the next night it was back. Same time, same cadence, same location, near the closet, maybe slightly closer. I lay in bed and just listened. For 11 minutes, according to my phone timer. 11 minutes of someone else's breathing in my room. Then it stopped. Not gradually, just stopped. Like someone had been switched off. The third night, I didn't sleep. I sat up with my desk lamp on, laptop open, pretending to study. At 2:40 a.m., I turned off the light and waited. 2:47. The breathing began. This time, I didn't reach for my phone. I didn't move. I just lay there and paid attention. It wasn't coming from the vent. It wasn't coming through the wall. It was coming from the right side of the room, the side where, in a double occupancy layout, the second bed would be. My room was a converted double. The furniture for the second occupant had been removed, but the space was still there, an empty stretch of carpet between my desk and the closet. The breathing was coming from the empty side of the room, at bed height, where someone would be lying down. I started sleeping with the light on after that. The breathing never came when the light was on, only in the dark, only at 2:47, only from that spot. A week later, I tried something. I set my phone to record audio and left it on the floor near the closet, screen down. I turned off the light at midnight and forced myself to stay awake. 2:47. The breathing started. I let it run for 20 minutes, then turned on the light. I played back the recording with my earbuds in, hands shaking. Nothing. 45 minutes of room tone. The hum of the mini fridge. A car alarm at 2:51 outside. But no breathing. Not a trace. Whatever I was hearing wasn't sound. Not the kind a microphone could catch. I went to the housing office the next day and asked about room 614. The woman at the desk, her name tag said Deborah, pulled up the file and frowned. She said the room was designated single occupancy and had been for 3 years. Before that, it was a standard double. I asked why it was converted. She said she didn't have that information, just that the change was made in 2021. Then she added, almost to herself, that room cycles a lot. I should have stopped there. I didn't. I found the RA for my floor, a junior named Kai. I asked him casually if he knew anything about 614. He got quiet. Then he said something that made the hair on my arm stand up. You're the 5th person in that room in 3 years. 5 residents, 3 years, in a single room with a wait list, 40 people deep. Everyone requested a transfer. Kai said most of them cited noise complaints. One girl told him she kept waking up at the same time every night and couldn't explain why. Another said the room smelled like someone else was living there. The same smell. I asked Kai who had the room before it became a single. He didn't know, but he told me the Archer Hall housing archives were kept in the basement office. Move-in records, old RA logs, maintenance requests. Technically accessible if you asked the right person. No one ever did. I looked. The last double occupancy residents of room 614 were listed for fall 2020. 2 names. The first had a checkout date in December. Normal, end of semester. The second name had no checkout date, no transfer record, no withdrawal form, just a name, a move-in date of August 28th, 2020, and a blank space where the rest should be. Her name was Allison Voss. I searched the university directory. No Allison Voss. I searched the alumni network. Nothing. I searched her name with Ohio State University and found one result. A campus police blotter from November, 2 paragraphs long. It said campus security had conducted a welfare check on a student in Archer Hall after she hadn't been seen in classes for 6 days. The results of the welfare check was not listed. The blotter entry had no follow-up. That was it. No news articles, no memorial page, No social media presence after October. Allison Voss had moved into room 614, and at some point during that fall semester, she simply stopped appearing in the record. That night, I did something I can't fully explain. I turned off the light at midnight, and I lay on my bed and waited. 2:47 came. The breathing started, and I spoke. Allison. The breathing paused. For the first time in weeks, it paused. 1 beat, 2, then it resumed. Slower, closer. Not by the closet anymore. Not at bed height across the room. Right next to me. I felt the mattress shift. Not a lot. Just the faintest depression near my hip. Like someone had sat down on the edge of my twin bed. The coconut vanilla smell flooded the room. Not faint anymore. Not residual. Fresh. Warm. Like someone had just washed their hair. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I lay there with my eyes open in the dark and felt the warmth of another body 6 inches from mine. The breathing was so close, I could feel the air displacement on my neck. It lasted 90 seconds, then the weight lifted, the smell faded. The breathing receded back across the room, back to the empty space where a bed used to be. I slept in the common room that night. I filed my transfer request the next morning. Housing processed it in 48 hours, fastest approval Kai had ever seen. He said they'd never fight transfers out of 614. Before I moved out, I asked Deborah one more question. I asked who was being assigned to the room after me. She checked the system and looked confused. She said a new student had already been placed. Move-in was scheduled for that Saturday. The room would be empty for less than 2 days. I asked if it had ever been left vacant, even for a few weeks, between semesters, over summer. She scrolled through 3 years of records and shook her head. Someone was always assigned. The system always filled it. She couldn't explain why. With a wait list that long, every room gets filled quickly, but 614 was always first. Always occupied, never empty. I'm a junior now. I live off campus. I sleep fine most nights, but sometimes, and this is the part I can't tell anyone, sometimes at 2:47 a.m., I wake up. No alarm, no sound, just my eyes opening to a dark room and the absolute certainty that someone is breathing nearby. I don't check anymore. I just wait for it to stop. And I think about that room, that twin bed against the wall. Whatever space Allison Voss occupied that was never given back. And I wonder if the girl sleeping there right now has started hearing it yet. Over 4 million college students sleep in campus dormitories every single night in the United States. 4 million people. Sharing walls, sharing bathrooms, sharing rooms with strangers they met on a housing portal 2 weeks before move-in day. They don't check the housing records. They don't ask why the room was converted to a single. They don't notice the smell until the 3rd or 4th night. And by then, they've already decided it's the carpets. Most rooms are just rooms. But some rooms remember who slept there, and some rooms were never empty to begin with. 4 million students, hundreds of thousands of dorm rooms. With every August, the system fills them all. If yours gets filled a little too fast, ask why. Until next time, this is Hollowgrin. Let's descend again.